In this video, I'm talking about Beast's kit and answering the rest of your questions from the Monday mailbag, including questions about Dark Dimension, the Young Avengers, and a lot more. And if you're ready for that, guys, you know what to do. Look for that like button and let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
What is up, Valley Maniacs? ValleyFlyin here. I am back. Welcome to the channel. Hope you had a great weekend. I'm feeling a little under the weather, not 100% for a few days now, so hopefully I'm bringing the energy in this video, but if I'm not, that is why, and hopefully I'll be better in the next few days. But I gotta answer your questions, guys. It is Monday. It is time for Monday mailbag, so I am answering your questions from the Discord server, and if you want your question potentially featured in an upcoming episode of these, make sure you are a member of the Discord. The link is down below. But before we get to all these questions, did receive a few questions about this new Beast kit, received a few DMs as well, so instead of answering them separately all over the place, let's go take a look at Beast kit. I will give you my thoughts on it, and then I will get to the rest of the questions of the week, guys. So Beast kit was revealed on Friday. Talked about it on a Twitch stream soon after it was revealed, but have not spoken about it on YouTube. So here we go, guys. He is a Hero Global Mutant Support X-Men, and he has a pretty decent kit. Now, the big thoughts about Beast was that he was supposed to make the X-Men a raid viable team. Not sure if I'm seeing enough in this kit to make me say that at this time, although we don't know the numbers yet, so it is still possible. But let's read through the kit and I'll give you my thoughts on each of these skills that he has here. His basic is Dignified Strike, attacking primary and adjacent targets for damage and flipping one positive effect to a negative effect. That is good, potentially for the raids, especially if you have a character that is taunting right off the bat. This attack flips two positive negative effects during a counter attack or an assist. So good stuff, especially if you're getting a few more extra assists from Storm. His special, Volatile Experiment, this is available on turn 1, 3 out of 3. You're clearing two negative effects from self, and then you're going to heal the two most injured allies for a % of this character's max health. Could be big, may not be big. We don't know the percentages of this yet, and we don't know base skills of his max health. So not sure what to think about this. And attacking all enemies for damage could be a big AoE attack, could be a small one. So still, the jury's still out on this skill, but could be a very good one depending what these numbers are. His ultimate is very interesting. Now, it looks like it's going to apply to all of these X-Men allies, all of these skills, but what happens is when you're using him outside of this team, that is where these offense up for blasters and brawlers, defense up for protectors and controllers, and speed up for support is gonna help. But it looks like he's gonna give all this stuff to X-Men allies. So on a full X-Men team, they should all get offense up, defense up, and speed up with this ability. 4 out of 6 cooldown, so not available on turn 1, but a very, very interesting ability because it affects all of these different types of characters in the way that would most benefit them. And the passive, this one was a little surprising to me. Don't remember if this was what was in the data mine or if this was something that was changed, but if this character has 3 or more X-Men allies at the start of the battle, the first ally death does not count towards the loss of a medal in campaigns and challenges. So I'm not sure how this is going to affect raids. I don't think it's going to affect raids at all, but for campaigns and challenges, especially for newer players that don't have the 3-star on the campaigns and all the challenges, this will allow you to bring Beast and Phoenix in that mode, and if Phoenix dies, Dark Phoenix is summoned, you can still get that 3-star if she dies. So this is what I think this was designed for, just to help a lot of the newer players. I don't think it applies to anybody that has 3-star in all of these campaign and challenges. And what he's also going to do on turn, regeneration to the most injured ally. If that ally is an X-Men, heal them for % of this character's max health. Again, we don't know the % yet, so this could be big or this could be something minor, and he's going to get more resistance, and X-Men allies are going to gain more resistance. Obviously, this is incomplete. I don't think this makes him a raid excellent character unless some of these numbers come back and they're pretty beefy. So that is my thoughts of Beast right now. I think he's a great character for newer players. Not sure how he's gonna fit into the meta right now though. All right, first question of the week. Howdy, ValleyFlyin from Louisville, Texas, brother. Now I reckon going into Dark Dimension 3 in the next few weeks with the team of Phoenix, Scientist Supreme, Invisible Woman, Magneto, and Black Bolt. How do you think this squad will fare? I think it'll be okay for the first few nodes just because you have Phoenix on that team. Once you get to that global node, you're gonna struggle. some, I would start to build a Colossus for that node if you have the resources. And then I would start to focus on some characters for your Cosmic. So you already have Black Bolt. Hela's very good in that node, but I think the two MVPs are going to be Minerva and Ebony Maw. If you have access to those characters, I would start to work on those characters. And then the best character for City is going to be Symbiote Spider-Man. So work on those characters. Once you have those characters built, I would start to focus on some of these other luxury type characters. But if you already have Scientist Supreme, Invisible Woman, and Magneto done, I think getting in is more important than getting the right characters. But yeah, focus on those characters in addition to what you already have. But if you haven't put all your resources already into Scientist Supreme, Invisible Woman, and Magneto, you may want to think twice about them. I don't think they're MVPs in Dark Dimension 3. ValleyFlyin, what is up from North Cal, brother? What is up? I'm about to get into Cosmic in Dark Dimension 3, but City looms on the horizon. I have 0 T14 City characters. I know I'll be bringing Symbiote Spider-Man, and who would you bring in a second and third? Carnage and Venom are going to be your two top picks. The only thing you might be struggling with, it's kind of what I'm struggling with, is all that bio gear and some of those catalysts. So if that is an issue for you, I think the fourth best character after those is going to be Ghost Rider. So that's one character that you could build up if you're struggling with the bio gear and have some abundance of that mystic gear. Another character that would work in that game mode and would probably be my fifth or sixth pick somewhere down the line is Punisher, because he's a skill character. He's not the greatest character into that game mode, but you know, some of that skill gear, there's not a lot of great skill characters out there. So some of that skill gear is going to be a little easier to obtain and save up. So those are going to be my choices for the City characters. Symbiotes first, then Ghost Rider, and then Punisher. And then if you have a character that you really like or already have close, then maybe that character, if you have a bunch of gear. Gear is very important, and it's hard to come by sometimes. Do you think the game should have used OG's design of Green Goblin with the glider, or do you prefer them the design they're using now? I prefer the old school glider version, but MSF is not really true to the comics or the MCU. It's kind of their own universe. So I guess the Green Goblin that we have, that demon type Green Goblin that we have in the game right now, is the one that is viable for the MSF universe. Greenies from Virginia, what should my non-Black Order arena defense be? My core is Phoenix, Black Bolt, Ebony Maw, and Yo-Yo. I've tried Hela, Sinister, but none seem to hold well. None seem to hold well for me as well. I think arena is in an interesting place, as it has been for a while, that no arena defense is really going to hold. For every non-Black Order team, my Black Order team beats it pretty handily. And for every Black Order team, unless they have like a crazy 7 Red Star Thanos or 6 Red Star Thanos, there's hybrid teams that can beat the Black Order. So I think what I would focus on right now, if arena was a huge priority for me, is the timing of your attacks. Like, before payout is when you're going to get the most bang for your buck as far as when to use those attacks. So I would focus on the timing of my attacks and trying to time it around your payout, because yeah, not really any defense will hold right now in arena, unless you got a crazy red stars on your Black Order. ValleyFlyin, watch you all the time from Montreal. Hope you and yours are well as well. So hopefully the same for you, brother. I have 2 decent teams for Ultimus 7, looking to add 2 characters: Symbiote Spider-Man, Minerva, Black Bolt, Thanos, Ebony Maw, and I have Hela, Ultron, Black Bolt, Shuri, and Invisible Woman. Thinking of bringing up Yo-Yo, but is she worth it? Who else would you recommend? So Yo-Yo, I would say she was worth it way back in the day. For me right now, I don't really use her too much. So if you were to ask me, is she worth it right now? I would say no, especially because she's very hard to farm. If you're not someone that's spending a lot of money on the game, opening a lot of premium orbs, you're not gonna probably have a lot of shards on Yo-Yo. So yeah, not that valuable. The one thing that I do notice here, you have 2 teams. Black Bolt is on both teams. So what I might recommend is finding a replacement for Black Bolt on your second team. Maybe Captain Marvel. I mean, she's not going to be as good as Black Bolt, but just so you have 2 completely separate teams and you don't have that overlap, I might start to build up Captain Marvel and then replace him on your second team. Like I said, it's not going to be as good, but just so you have some more options and 2 complete teams instead of 2 sort of teams with 1 person overlapping on them. Daniel's son, loved your videos, longtime player account, but I'm confused. My brain bleeding issue. Geez, I hope that's not as bad as that sounds. I hope you're okay, brother. I have 1 character to upgrade. Should I upgrade 1 character? Excuse me. Captain Marvel to 5 red stars, or 3 top characters to 4 red stars. Call Obsidian, Cyclops, or Mr. Sinister. At 4 red stars, they're more usable. So normally I would recommend building up 1 character to the 5 red stars instead of 3 to 4 red stars. But in your case, Captain Marvel's a really good character. I see her falling off a little bit. Still a very good character, but I think if it were me, I would rather have a 4-star Captain Marvel and then my Cull, Cyclops, and Sinister also at 4 red stars. That's what I would do. I don't know if there's a right answer in this case. Usage is very important. So if you're using Captain Marvel a lot, that could turn the tides a lot in her factor. But if you're not getting a lot of use and you just want to build balanced teams, I would go with upgrading those characters that you suggested, brother. What global characters do you think are best for Dark Dimension 3? There's 2 of them, Phoenix and Colossus. I think those are the 2 best for Dark Dimension 3. I took in a few others. I took in Mr. Sinister because I thought he had a lot of value outside of that game mode, so I wanted to build him up. He's okay for Dark Dimension 3. I also build up Ultron. He's also okay for Dark Dimension 3. Not one of the best characters for that game mode, but I built him up because I knew I'd be using him outside of that game mode. The last character I took up was Yo-Yo. Now, I took her up before I took up Cyclops, so once I built up Cyclops, she had absolutely 0 value. But for me, the 2 most valuable characters for Dark Dimension 3 global is going to be Phoenix and Colossus, brother. Do you recommend getting all legendaries at 5 stars or focus on someone like Black Bolt at 7 stars? So interesting strategy here. For me, I like to at least unlock the characters, but that may or may not be prudent for you depending where you are in the legendary cadence. So it depends on where you're at, but I think some of these legendaries you can skip over, and I'd rather focus on just the 3 main ones right now for building them up. So Black Bolt is a very good choice for 7 stars. So is Phoenix. The last one I would recommend getting to 7 stars is Ebony Maw. So if you get any of those characters to 7 stars, I would do those characters before any of the other legendaries. But of course, that rotation is gonna play a factor in that. So I like to unlock all the other characters so I can make complete teams, but after that, after they're all unlocked, I would focus on getting these more important characters like I mentioned, the Black Bolt, the Phoenix, and Ebony Maw up to as high star level as you can. First time, long time, your boys the Black Order take first actions very early. Proxima, Ebony, both act before opponents and they both apply offense down on turn 1. Isn't this a bit redundant? Yes, it is. Why do you think Foxnix designed his kit this way? I think it was to give them options to counter many different teams. I'm not sure about the turn order, but maybe because Phoenix steals some of those offense downs, it may not work out because of the turn order. But for me, that first turn of Proxima Midnight, I hardly ever use her special. I'm using her basic because I T4'd the basic of Proxima Midnight and Corvus Clave, so they're helping each other out with their basic and removing a bunch of buffs on the enemy team. So I like that. It gives you options though. The AI is not always going to use it correctly, but in your hands, I think you should be able to use it correctly, and probably more often than using that basic for Proxima on her opening move. What's up, amigo? What is up, amigo? I love using the symbiotes in many game modes, but Miles and OG Spider-Man bring a downer to the team. What characters would you substitute with them to make the team more effective in arena and war? So I've seen a few different hybrids. I think one character that ends up a lot on this team is Shuri, because she gives them defense up, she heals them. That's one thing that this symbiote team is missing, so she makes up for that. Another character that I like on this team is Psylocke, because she can remove debuffs. That's one major weakness of this symbiote team. But any characters like a Scarlet Witch or a Magneto work very good because they amplify a lot of these debuffs on the enemy team. I mean, even Pyro, even a Magneto Pyro hybrid would work well on this team, but it has been suggested that Squirrel Girl works very good in this team as well. So bunch of different characters. Miles, OG, Spider-Man, I don't think they're the best. You can use them on this team, but yeah, there's better options for this symbiote team. ValleyFlyin, I am about to get Ultron. Wonder if he's still worth taking to T13 and T4 all of his abilities. As far as the T4, I would say yes. For me, I'm still seeing a lot of value in Ultron. He is on my primary Ultimus 7 team right now, so I'm seeing a lot of value for him. T13, I think, is okay, depending where you are in your Dark Dimension run. If you are if you're getting very close to Dark Dimension 3, you might want to save him because he uses a lot of resources that you could put towards maybe 2 other characters, and that could get you into Dark Dimension 3. But yeah, definitely get him up to T12 and T4 all of his abilities. T13, it will depend on where you are in your D3 pursuit and how much orange gear you have left over, but still a great character, brother. Loving all the videos. The Miss Marvel passive says that she gains taunt when any hero ally drops below 50%, not just brawlers. That was a mistake that I made. I thought it was just brawlers. I looked at the actual kit though. It's all heroes. So good catch there. I made that mistake earlier last week. But yes, all heroes. So does that mean she should work on the same as the Young Avengers and brawlers? So yes, I think it should. I think the hero brawler got that Young Avengers tag just so we could have Squirrel Girl have some synergy, because obviously she is not a brawler on that team, but I think any other hero brawler would work very well on that team. Doesn't have that Young Avengers synergy, but I don't know if you need it with the passive of Miss Marvel. So that team is looking pretty fun right now. Just looks like a better version of that hero brawlers. Hope all is well with you and your family. Same with you, brother. Realize this is low on everybody's list, but do you think they will ever let us build save squads from the roster team? These ever questions. Ever is such a long time, so I think they will eventually at one point. I don't know what the priority list for them is. You know, with these quality of life updates, they don't really tease these too much. What they normally do is it's just a big surprise and the community is happy when we get these quality life updates. So it could be soon, it could be far down the road, but this isn't really something that is teased. So I'm not sure if we'll be able to know advance time when it's coming, but I would love to see that. It would make it a lot easier, especially with all the advanced options we have, advanced filter options that we have in the main screen and that we don't have when we're trying to select our roster. Do you think the addition of Squirrel Girl, the meta symbiote team, would change to have her and Shuri paired up with the 3 symbiotes? I think that is a very strong combo, because one thing that they're missing, like I said when I was talking about Psylocke earlier, is the ability to clear debuffs off all the characters on the team. Squirrel Girl does that. She also has that healing. So I don't know if you need both Squirrel Girl and Shuri. You might want to replace them with someone else, or you might want to replace Shuri with someone else that applies that defense up, because Squirrel Girl is going to give them that healing. But both of them together, I wouldn't see that as a bad thing. You don't really have a tank, but I'm not sure with all their healing that's going on if that's really necessary. But that team should be good, at least on paper. I like that team. Next question, what do you think this fix for Storm and her Black Panther would be in a relationship, as she's rumored in Black Panther 2 giving her a Wakanda tag? Isn't that far-fetched? I don't think it would be, but I think if they were to give her that Wakanda tag, it would probably be closer to that Black Panther 2 movie, if anything. Then update her passive to include Wakanda. I like that. For a special, make the chance to apply debuffs based on the number of X-Men / Wakanda allies instead of charge. I like that. That is the big thing I like about this the most, because I always thought it was weird that you would lose all the charges for her special, or you lose all the charges for her ultimate, which means that you're using one or the other unless you're in a long extended raid where you have a chance to build up these charges. So I like this idea, and that allows us to use just those charges on the ultimate. I think that's a great idea. I hope they will make that change, because at least for me, I know some people like Storm, but I've never really thought she had a lot of value. I thought she was too squishy and took too long to build up her charges. ValleyFlyin, can you make an updated video on Alliance War offense list now that we have X-Force and Power Armor 2.0? Yes, I think it would make more sense when we get at least 1 or 2 more teams though. So I will do an updated video, but I'm not sure when, brother. What is up, brother? Hope you and your family are okay. With the arrival of Squirrel Girl and the Spider-Verse team seem to dissolve with the departure of Miles to the new Avengers, this is a clue that in the near future we'll have an entire team of symbiotes. I'm not sure if this is a clue or not. We've had some incomplete teams in the game for a while. I mean, we've had X-Force as an incomplete team since right around global launch, and they just finally got their team. So it might take them a while to complete a team, but hopefully eventually we will get a full symbiote team. What will happen to Spider-Man in that case? What team do you think we'll put him on? One option, the Young Avengers are kind of like an upgraded version of those hero brawlers. So if you want a 5th for the hero brawlers and don't know where to use him, he would work on that team. I think Gamora would also work on that team as well, but Spider-Man I think has a little more synergy with Miles, the rest of the crew. So I like Spider-Man on probably Young Avengers, and then I might make some adjustments depending on how well that synergizes with that team. Bro, you're looking ripped lately. What's your secret? Inquiring minds want to know. I don't know. I'm not really focused on getting ripped and looking good. It's just kind of a byproduct when I was doing a lot of jujitsu, and it just kind of stayed that way. So yeah, haven't been working out the past couple days because, like I said, been feeling a little weird. But normal days, work out, eat pretty clean. But I think the big factor, because I was doing all that before jiu-jitsu, was all the amount of calories that I'm burning in jiu-jitsu, because I train a lot and on normal weeks, and just because I think it's fun. It's not for any other reason than fun, and maybe enter tournaments down the road. What would you suggest one to do with their raid credits once all the raid characters are at 5 minimum? Focus the raid credits on equipment or continue pulling character shards. So a couple different options here. What I would want to do if it were my roster, though, I would keep building a few characters up to 7 stars, or at least build them up to the next star level. The first one is gonna be Thor, because he is an Asgardian, which means that you will be required for that Black Bolt unlock, and Black Bolt is required for that Ebony Maw unlock. So Thor is an important character. The other important character is Ronin, because Ronin is important for that Phoenix unlock, because he's a villain mystic controller. So those are the 2 characters that I would build up more past that 5-star mark. And Ronin and villain mystic controllers, you need that 6-star anyway. So build Ronin up to 7 stars, build Thor up to 7 stars. The rest of the characters you could do at your own leisure, or do equipment, up to you, whatever you need more at the current time you're farming or buying stuff in the store. Valley just recently invested in Symbiote Spider-Man, 4 gold stars, 4 red stars, gear 13, all T4s. That is looking pretty good, brother. Took him into Ultimus 7 DD1, totally loving him. Is he a tune that would benefit from high gold stars and high red stars? Yes, he would. He has drain on all of his skills, and the characters that benefit most from high red stars are the characters that damage and the characters that heal. And with drain, he's going to be increasing his damage, and he's going to be increasing his healing. So he's going to benefit a lot. Plus, he applies bleeds. He does a lot of other stuff than just controlling the team, like you mentioned. So he is a character that totally benefits from high gold and high red stars, brother. Hey, brother, love the video we did with OMG for the T4 on Fantastic Four. Will you be doing more T4 videos moving forward? Possibly. That was kind of a last minute thing, but possibly in the future. I'm not sure. If there's a big demand for it, other than what's already out there, because I don't know if my opinions are too different than what's already out there, then yes, I will. But if there's not a demand for it, then I'll move on to some other stuff that you guys do want to see. Hey, brother, greetings from the Peach State. I used to live there for like 6 months. Need some advice on DD3. Halfway done with Node 7. I've got Minerva, Hela, Loki for Cosmic, Symbiotes, and Spider-Man and Carnage for City. What should I get ready for next, Cosmic or City? I can get Black Bolt, Proxima, Noma for Cosmic, and Venom and Ghost Rider for City. So I guess it's what is more pressing for you. You already have a okay team with Minerva, Hela, and Loki. I would personally like to see Black Bolt and that team if it were me, because the word is from, I've heard from other people. I haven't entered the city nodes yet, but I've heard from other people you can just do that city lanes with just Carnage and just Symbiote Spider-Man. So you should be good there. Although doing Venom will just make that easy mode. So it's up to you. If you think you're going to struggle more with Cosmic, then build up Black Bolt. If you think you're going to struggle more with City, then build up Venom. My suggestion would be Black Bolt, though. What is up, brother? Hope you're smashing it, fan over here in Singapore. I've been hospitalized for the past few months and finally gotten out a couple days ago. Your content cheered me up a lot during those tough times, so thank you so much. Thank you for watching the channel during those times, brother, and hopefully you're feeling better. I'm glad you're out of the hospital, brother. But on to the less important thing is the question about the game. I will be about 160 credits by next Chaos Theory. My options right now are promoting Black Bolt to 7 stars red, Phoenix to 7 stars red, or Mr. Sinister to 6 stars red. I'm using all 3 a lot. So which, in your opinion, is the best way to go? Thanks for helping and keep smashing. So the thing is, who's going to benefit you most right now? That's hard to say because I'm not sure which one you're using most. I know you're using all of them a lot. In my opinion, though, I think the character that would benefit me the most right now would be a 7-star Black Bolt. Phoenix is kind of a double-edged sword because normal Phoenix, the red stars kind of hurt her a little bit because she doesn't die as quick, but Dark Phoenix, it helps a lot, especially on her ultimate. Not at all on her special because that's percent based, but it will help her ultimate a lot and the damage that she does. So Phoenix is kind of double-edged sword, and it's Sinister. He's a great character now, one of the best characters in the game right now, but I also don't see him being a victim of power creep for a long time because of his clone mechanic. And any red stars you apply to Mr. Sinister will also apply to his clone, so keep that in mind. So my choice would be in this order: Black Bolt first because he can benefit me now, Mr. Sinister because he has a lot of long-term value, and Phoenix just because he's a great character. But I don't think you could go wrong with either one of those characters, but that is my thoughts on rationale between behind who I think you should upgrade. Thanks again for the videos. That's great. Would it be as much fun without the community you create? I think you guys created yourself. I just put out these videos, guys. You guys created the community, so thank you guys for doing that. Do you think counterattack will apply the mark status when ISO 8 comes out? That was an excellent question. I wish I still was on the test server to test this out, and I wish I looked a little further on the test server when I was on there. So this answer is just total guess, because, you know, even if it was on the test server, I have no idea what is going to be the final iteration of Marked when it finally comes out. So my guess, and this is just a guess because I have no idea, I think the counterattack will apply Marked, but I don't know. We don't know the final status of this ISO 8 stuff, so yes, it could change, or that could not totally be it. Anyway, wondering if Scopely will ever change Wolverine from the daily. Should they just change the character every year? Do you think MSF will adopt a battle pass? A couple of different questions. I remember when we went to the Foxnex offices, probably it's a couple months short of a year at this time, and one of the things they said, they wanted to get Wolverine out of there, they wanted to get Hulk out of there. They're still in, Wolverine is still the daily objective character, and Hulk is still the achievement character, so not sure when that is going to happen, if that is going to happen. Maybe they're just going to keep everybody in there so that newer players have that same road to build Wolverine. But as far as a battle pass, now this is something that is in a couple other games that I've been playing, and if you're not familiar with that, it's basically like doing daily activities and you're getting two different versions. Every battle pass or something similar has two different versions. One, you're getting a lot of rewards for doing these things just on as a free to play. So kind of like the milestones, we have all these normal milestones, and then you have upgraded versions which you can purchase. So in addition to getting all those normal free to play stuff, you get additional milestones or different rewards for completing certain tasks that are even better than the free version. So I would like to see that. I think that's a cool mechanic. It allows free-to-play players to get some rewards. It allows players that want to spend money to get even more rewards. I think it's a cool thing. I'm not sure if Scopely, aka Foxnex, is aware of that, but they probably are. I think it may or may not be in some other Scopely games. I'm not sure if I'm remembering it correctly or not, but yeah, I'd like to see it come to the game. What is up from Denmark? Great to see you and Casino in the news together. You're my favorite content creators. Here's my question. Live PvP was initially a nice feature, but it died out real fast. I really like it. Just don't have the time or incentive to find matchups between all the other mandatory content. For me, that is exactly how I feel. I like it. I think it's an awesome game mode. Between all this blitzing and other content in the game that I've been doing, and the lack of incentive. You know, fun is awesome. I think it's a fun game mode. Yeah, it's tough. I'm not sure what is gonna get people more excited about this. You mentioned some content creators not making a lot of content out of it. I made a few videos because I was really excited about this game mode, and none of the videos on PvP did very well on my channel, which means I'm not doing too much PvP videos until things change. So maybe making it so that there's some rewards, maybe making more so there's more content, maybe reducing some of the low quality time in other game modes so people can just enjoy playing. I'm not sure what would get the community more interested in it, but as soon as everybody's more interested in it, I will be more interested in it. But it's fun. I like it. I got the same issues as you have, the time, and then there's no reward. So it's I could do stuff in the game that gives me rewards. I could do stuff for fun. So for me, I'm going to prioritize the thing that gets me rewards before I prioritize the fun stuff in the game. Trying to find a good team to beat the Mystic chapter. Is going straight to Supernatural's best choice, or are there other combos that work out better? So I'm not sure how good my advice for this will be because I did the Mystic so long ago, but the characters that I used that were the most valuable for me, and particularly in that last Mystic section where there's that Thor boss to unlock that vision node, Black Panther, believe it or not, was very important because of that slow that he applies with his basic. And I think all I did was with Black Panther is just do basic on Thor. Probably could help out with some of these other nodes, but I know that last node just has those 3 characters, that Thor and Mordo, and I think Hawkeye. Doctor Strange, very important. He could revive characters, he flips buffs. Plus on his basic, he gets offense down, and that kind of relieves some of the pressure that you have some of the other characters. And Mordo, with the slows, with the stuns, with the blinds. I mean, he's a great character as well that I use. I think those are my 3 most MVP, my most valuable characters. I think I also brought Thanos and maybe Ronan. Not sure I brought in, but since I've been in there, we've had some other characters that became a lot more widespread. Loki, if you're able to get to his node on Mystic, I think it's believed Mystic 3.6 is his node. So if you're able to unlock him, we'd have it built. He's gonna help you with the rest of the Mystic. If you don't have him, Hela is unlocked on the villain node, so she's a great character if you have access to her. Ghost Rider though, Ghost Rider is another character that's very good in that Mystic section. So hopefully some of those characters help you get through that Mystic chapter. But those were the characters that helped me, brother. ValleyFlyin, hope all is well. Appreciate what you do for the MSF community. Quick question: it seems to be status quo to bring Symbiote Spider-Man and Carnage if you can pick 2 of the symbiotes. In preparing for Dark Dimension 2, I'll try to bring all 3, but if I can only get 2, I like Venom more. Dark Dimension 2 health pools are so high, it seems you won't be gaining the speed bar and health from Carnage passive as often, so it needs to occur to be that big of a game changer. Venom, on the other hand, applies a crazy amount of bleeds, heal block, ability block, flips positive effects, and heals, applies defense up, all that stuff. So, with paired to the drain Symbiote Spider-Man, barrier from Invisible Woman, full heal from Minerva. It seems like a no-brainer to go for Venom for Dark Dimension because everyone consistently says Carnage. What am I missing? So honestly, I have not been through that city node in Dark Dimension 3 yet, so a lot of what I'm recommending is based on what the community is telling me. And everybody that's been through these nodes tell me that Carnage and Symbiote Spider-Man is the way to go. I've talked to people that used Symbiote Spider-Man and Venom. They said it wasn't as effective. Symbiote Spider-Man and Ghost Rider, not as effective. Both of those characters, both of those duos, or all 3 of those duos can get through the city nodes, but the fastest that I've heard is Symbiote Spider-Man and Carnage. But what you're saying does make exact sense about Venom, brother. The passive with Carnage doesn't seem to be going off as much because of the high health pool of the characters in Dark Dimension 2 and Dark Dimension 3. So I'm not sure what it is. If someone has been through Dark Dimension 3 and if there's something that I am missing about it, let me know. But I'm basing it off people that have been through this game mode, and I've heard it from multiple different people that Carnage is the preferred choice in Dark Dimension 3. Hey Valley, as always, thank you for the work you put into your content. You make it fun and enjoyable to play this game. Quick question about Blitz. Can you explain why sometimes there's a different cost to recharge? I mean, sometimes when I finish a run, it's 25 charges to do another run with the same team, but other times it may be 40 or more to do a second consecutive run. So the second runs are based on your characters. So if there's a character or a couple characters, probably in your case, that you're using on different teams, those initial characters will still have that 5 recharge, but once you've used those other characters more than enough, they'll have 10 to recharge them. So that's probably why you're getting different numbers, because you've used some of those characters on other Blitz teams, and they haven't had their charges reset yet. Hey Valley, thanks for yelling brother at me 50 to 60 times an episode. Well, thank you for watching all the episodes, brother. I love, seriously. Anyway, I've been debating on who to take up to 4 red stars. Minerva, because I'm about to start Dark Dimension 2, and a second Shuri with being my makeshift Ultimus 7 team. What's more worthwhile? I think what's going to give you more value in the long run is going to be Shuri. If it was just a choice between these 2 characters, Minerva is one of the best characters for Dark Dimension 2, but her value is not based on her gold stars or her red stars, so it doesn't really give her a lot of value to give her that next red star just for Dark Dimension 2. I went in with real low gold and red stars on Minerva, and she was still my MVP because her ultimate is going to be based on the health of the enemies. And it does percent base damage, and it heals you based on that damage. So nothing to do with her stats, so you don't really need to build up her stats to make use of that one skill. As far as Shuri and any other character for Ultimus 7, the more gold stars, the more red stars on them, the better. It's going to help with her healing and giving her more survivability, which means that she's going to be able to heal more often. But with that said, for me, my purchase red stars, I would prefer them on damage dealers first and healers second. So because both of these two characters are healers, they would have been my first priority. If you have other damage dealers that are going to give you more value, I would probably focus on them first. But if these are your only two options, I would go Shuri first and then Minerva. Hey, ValleyFlyin, what T4s do you recommend, if any, on Colossus if you've been used on arena defense with Phoenix, Black Bolt, Ultron, and Maw? So there's three that I recommend on a full X-Men team, and I think I would still recommend those three, even if you're just using him with Phoenix on arena defense. The first would be his passive, because that gives him defense up for 2 turns instead of 1 turn. Also gives him a little more damage on his counterattacking. That ultimate is very, very important as well, because it's going to be extending the duration of all his buffs by 3 instead of 2. So that's going to help him with his death proofs, with his defense up, all that stuff. And his basic is also very important, because it's going to apply offense down for 2 turns instead of 1. This also affects his counters as well. Not all the basic upgrades affect the counters. Colossus's does. So those are the 3 I would upgrade. The only one I wouldn't do is his special. I did the special, but that was by accident because the game was a little laggy. So those, I would do everything but the special. In light of the new Marvel series WandaVision, the Falcon and Winter Soldier, do you think we could get a rework and get molded into a new team? I don't know if all 4 of those characters will be in a team, but every time there's a big event like this, like a WandaVision or Falcon Winter Soldier, a big TV show or a big movie, I am fully expecting a rework to those characters, just because marketing wise it makes sense to drum up a little more interest in those characters, so that hopefully you get a little more interest in those movies or TV shows. So I'm fully expecting reworks. Not sure if they're gonna happen. You know, sometimes I'm disappointed and we don't get anything, but I'm always expecting reworks whenever we have a movie or a TV show that is being released, just because it makes sense for marketing purposes. What's up, Valley? 310-day player. All your videos help. Thanks a lot. Thank you for watching, brother. I'm almost done with Node 4 of Dark Dimension 3. My 5 are Maw, Minerva, Black Bolt, Phoenix, Mr. Sinister. I have them gear to I have the gear to do Symbiote Spider-Man to gear 14, but it will take all my bios, so it's not having enough for Hela. Should I take Thanos or Ghost Rider? I'm saving all my tech gear in hopes of Doc Ock coming. So I think Symbiote Spider-Man, I don't really see an option for your city right now. So you can either go Symbiote Spider-Man if you think you're going to be getting to that city node soon, or you could go with your other character right here, Hela, for your cosmic nodes, and because it's going to take you a while to get through cosmic, and then have Symbiote Spider-Man be your next character. You're on node 4. It took me a while to get through these nodes, so you're going to have time for some of these cosmic characters, for some of these city characters. So you can either work on them now or work on some other characters that are going to help you in your current nodes, and then put these characters off till later. What should you do? I guess it's going to be dependent on how much orange gear you have saved up. So there's the right or wrong answer is dependent on your inventory and your orange gear, brother. Hey, Valley, don't melt out there in a heat wave. I will try, my brother. My question is this. I have Thanos, Minerva, Hela, Invisible Woman, and Captain Marvel at T14 for Dark Dimension Cosmic. I could either T14 Ebony Maw or Ghost Rider next. Both Mystic Piece characters. My city team will have Symbiote Spider-Man, Merc Lieutenant, Punisher, only if I choose Ebony Maw. I'm leaning towards gearing Ghost Rider to complete the first run for city nodes and do Ebony Maw when I complete, along with Carnage and hopefully Venom with first clear rewards. So Ebony or Ghost Rider. So I guess I would pick Carnage, but he's not a mystic character. So in this instance, in your particular instance, I think I would go Ghost Rider. I think Ebony Maw is going to give you a lot more value outside of this game mode, and it's going to help you just smash through that Cosmic. But I think you can already get through Cosmic. You might not get through as fast with Ebony Maw, but with Minerva, Hela, I think you should be good. So I would start to turn your attention now towards the city and focus on Ghost Rider. That's what I'm doing. I'm in a similar situation, but now with Ebony Maw, it's between Thanos and Ghost Rider. And since I don't have enough bio stuff, I might be doing Ghost Rider first and then worry about Thanos as my next mystic character. But yeah, Ghost Rider first, then Ebony Maw. And then yeah, you're exactly right. You could go back to Ebony Maw once you're done with Dark Dimension 3. Next question. Yo, Valley, #1 Valley Maniac here. What is up, brother? Hope you've been staying safe. Do you remember hearing a while ago about a monthly subscription service that they were testing out? Is this something that Scopely might be interested in rolling out, or did this fall into nothingness? I don't know if this was ever official. I think this was stuff that people were seeing in the data mines, and I don't know if they ever made an announcement or anything about it. So maybe they were testing it. It didn't go well. Maybe they're looking at the metrics. They didn't like what they saw. Not sure what happened to it, but ever since we saw it in data mine, it hasn't gained too much traction. Maybe they put it out there as a test and didn't like the reactions the community had to it. Also want to call you out because remember you lost a mobile gamer in PvP fair and square and you were supposed to let him change your theme song. When should we expect that? You have to pay up for losing. So the way it works is this: when we lose these battles, it's kind of a double-edged sword because you get the or when we win these battles, it's a double-edged sword because you get the prestige, you get the bragging rights for win, but you also have to make a bad intro for the other person, and I will put those bad intros up as soon as I get those from him. So I haven't received them from him yet, so that's the deal. So whenever he gives them to me, they'll be up, and it's not just him. I think I might owe him some as well, so I'm going to talk to him about it next time I see him, see how much I owe him, and I think he owes me too. So we'll see what happens with it, but that's why it hasn't been up here yet, brother. I'm not supposed to change it. He's supposed to change it, and I'm supposed to change his. What is the best way to reach out to Cerebro? My guess would be reach out to him on Discord, try to tag him on Discord, see if he responds, maybe add him as a friend, maybe DM him. Same thing on Reddit. Those are the two places that I see him a lot, Reddit and Discord. So probably one of those places, brother. Hey, ValleyFlyin, greetings from the Steel City of Pittsburgh. Love your videos. Something you mentioned in one of your videos got me thinking. What do you think about Apocalypse coming to the game when paired with the 4 new X-Men characters such as Beast, Iceman, Rogue, and Angel? They become empowered, turned into the 4 Horsemen. That would be a very cool effect. Yeah, people in one of the previous mailbags, people were wondering about this empowered effect. Could it be used in other characters? I think it would be cool if they add to characters like this. Apocalypse, they're normal X-Men, but when they're paired with Apocalypse, they become empowered and because of this 4 Horsemen bonus. You could do that with a lot of other characters. So I think this empowered Thanos does give a lot of different options of ways these devs can use this empowered mechanic. I think this is one of them. I think it'd be really, really cool. I would be thumbs up if they did something like this. Hey, Valley, thanks for answering my question last week. I recently completed Dark Dimension 1 for the first time. After going in again, I noticed you get the gold and mega orb rewards again. Will those rewards still appear regardless of how many times you redo Dark Dimension 1? No, you get all the Dark Dimension rewards the first time you complete every single Dark Dimension. You get additional rewards the second time. After that, you get nothing. One thing that was suggested though by the community is having some rewards reset, so maybe monthly for some severely diminished rewards. I think that would be cool because the developers, they spent a lot of time making Dark Dimension 1, Dark Dimension 2, Dark Dimension 3. This will give some of these nodes some replayability, and yeah, if the rewards are diminished, it wouldn't make it too game changing, but it would give players the incentive to go back and kind of use some of the content that they spent all this time developing. So I would be interested in something like that, but yeah, you're not going to get any rewards until they change it after going back after your second time, brother. Next question here is from Thantip Valley. Can you give us a guidance on how to use Storm and Colossus? I just finished building my X-Men team. It's very fun to watch Phoenix and Cyclops wipe out enemies every time. However, not sure what attack I should use for Storm and Colossus. For Storm, using Ultimate special right away is crap, but I never have a chance to use them to build up a charge from a basic attack. So it's tough to build up a lot of charges in a single attack. That mechanic was made for raids, so you can build a bunch of charges over multiple battles, but to build up a lot of charges in one battle just doesn't give that ultimate a lot of damage and doesn't give that special a lot of damage, for me at least, because she's been pretty squishy. So Storm I think needs a rework for that to be used in single battles. As far as Colossus though, sometimes it is more useful to use his ultimate. If Phoenix dies real early on and there's no protection for Dark Phoenix, it's a no-brainer to use this special because that's going to taunt on Colossus. It's going to put a taunt on Colossus and it's going to take some of the pressure off Dark Phoenix. If she's still alive, then you have options. If you need a taunt for her, then he's going to put that taunt on himself and normal Phoenix. So that might be an option to use that special as well. I think most of the time though, I'm using that ultimate because I want to extend the death proofs. I want to extend I want to add the death proofs. I want to extend the defense up, maybe extend the stealth from normal Phoenix as well. So it really depends on the situation, but basically Colossus is there to make Phoenix survive, and whatever game mode is going to get Phoenix to die or to have Dark Phoenix survive. So whatever move is going to get Dark Phoenix to pop up more often and keep her alive, that's what you should do. Ultimate or special, whatever is more applicable in that situation. ValleyFlyin, don't have Benvenuto Mall yet, but the other Black Order members are 3 gold stars, 3 red stars. I have a Thanos at 6 gold stars, 4 red stars. Should I invest in the team even when the Black Order members are so low? I would say right now, because you don't have a lot of luck on your gold stars, plus you don't have any Maw, so you're not going to see a complete empowered Thanos. I would say right now I'd focus on some other teams. They're going to give you a little more value for your resources. Eventually though, this is going to be the best team that you're gonna have. Hopefully you get some more red stars on it to make it worthwhile for you to build it. But yeah, right now I would recommend focusing on some other teams right now. They're not gonna get that value in return for your resources. Greetings from Coppell, Texas, brother. I've been trying to get into Dark Dimension 3. Currently, you only have Black Bolt, Ebony Maw, and Phoenix at gear tier 14. Extremely close to getting Ultron and Invisible Woman to tier 14. Are there other characters I should be focused on instead of Invisible Woman and Ultron? If those 5 are good, who else should I focus on gearing up? So Ultron and Ebony and Invisible Woman are very questionable. Ultron is a very good character outside of that game mode. He's okay in Dark Dimension 3, but I'm not sure how much value he's given me. So that would not be one of my first priorities, especially considering how much gear he actually takes to level up. He's one of the most expensive characters in terms of gear to get up to gear 14. So for that alone, I might wait on him. Invisible Woman, not sure how much she's going to help you in that game mode as well. She's helped me I mean, I never took her in, but she's I don't think she would have helped me too much. I would have rather saved my resources, especially my bio resource for other characters like my symbiote. So with that said, yes, there are other characters that you should be focused on. The first one I would focus on is Colossus. So because you're going to be appearing in those global nodes soon. Once you get to those cosmic nodes, I think you're going to need some Minerva and maybe a Hela to help keep them alive in that cosmic nodes. And then for your city nodes, I think if you had to pick one, Symbiote Spider-Man. If you could pick 2, Symbiote Spider-Man and Carnage. And I'd much rather use my bio gear on either Carnage or Symbiote Spider-Man rather than Invisible Woman, brother. Next question from Austria, brother. What is up? So I'm struggling with 2 questions I hope you can help me with. I have a 6 Red Star Shield Trooper. Should I T14 him? I have a lot of skill gear left, and I just need 1 more tune for Dark Dimension 3. So he's not going to give you a lot of value in that game mode. I didn't take him in to Dark Dimension 3, but everybody that I've spoken to says he is just kind of a waste character. He will get you in, so it's not a total waste. But once you get in there, it's kind of a waste. So it's up to you. If you want to get in right now and use it on a character that's not going to give you a lot of value, or save it and sacrifice getting in a little later. That is going to be up to you. Second question though is, how should I promote Symbiote Spider-Man or Sinister 6 to red stars? I already have everyone else. Sinister is good, or Sinister, not Sinister 6. I would probably, so again, long-term value, you're going to get more value in Sinister, I think, because of his cloning mechanic. I think he's going to fall off the meta a lot later because of that mechanic. As far as short-term value, Dark Dimension 3, Symbiote Spider-Man is going to give you more value. So it's going to be up to you whether you want the character that you know is good right now. Who knows when he'll be countered in that power creep, or a character that has a lot more staying power, or I think is going to have a lot more staying power. So both of them are good choices, but it's going to be up to you. What do you think is more important, staying power in the meta, or what's going to give you more value, especially in Dark Dimension 3 right now, brother? Greetings from Montana. I have a Phoenix at 78k, but I haven't upgraded much of the rest of the X-Men besides because they have the low red stars. I feel you, brother. That's there's some good teams out there that I don't have a lot of red stars on that I just haven't built because of those low red stars. I have 4 on Phoenix and Wolverine, 1 on Storm, 2 on Colossus, 2 on Psylocke. Been playing around 2 years. This is a perfect example of how bad red stars are. Yes, it is. The red stars having this control of your team out of your control just isn't fun. My question, should I spend promotion credits on the rest of the team? I think currently right now, X-Men is valuable enough for you to spend those promotion credits. The downside is by the time you have all those credits to get the X-Men to probably about 4 red stars each, they might be surpassed with power creep. Now, I don't think Phoenix is gonna get passed up for a little while. Even with Ebony Maw in the game as a hard counter to her, and Crystal as a soft counter, she still has a lot of value. So Phoenix is going to give you some value. And as far as the rest of the team, I think they're going to be a little while more, but it is going to be very expensive. So I guess the answer to this question will be, how much silver promotion credits do you have, and what would you be able to spend it on outside of that? If you have a better option to spend instead of X-Men, then you probably should do that. But X-Men is one of the top teams of the game. So if you're spending it on some other team that it's not going to benefit you too much in the game, then go X-Men first. ValleyFlyin, hey, my good man, coming from San Francisco. What is up, brother? Do you ever look at Strike Force and think how amazing these games have advanced since Marvel's Avengers Alliance and its sequel just for nostalgia? I didn't notice how good the graphics were on this game until I looked back into my old videos on Marvel's Avengers Alliance 2, and man, I didn't remember how bad those graphics were, but yeah, it's the graphics in Strike Force are really nice. My dumb friend main Shivan won't pay up the 20 bucks he owes me for the Usman Masvidal fight. What would you recommend I do? Ask him for it, and if you guys are really close, then don't worry about it. If you guys aren't too close, I probably wouldn't be betting with him again though. But how do I apply a proper armbar to him? I probably wouldn't do that. I probably wouldn't apply a proper armbar to your friend. I'd be unlocking Ultron tomorrow. Besides Aimtron, what are some of the best teams to build around him? So Aimtron, I like that team for war offense. I think they're a very good war offense for punching up. Outside of that, don't really use him too much in arena, but there's a lot of good combos in arena with Phoenix, Black Bolt that utilize Ultron. And as far as the raids, he's on my primary Ultimus 7 team right now with Thanos, Ebony Maw, Black Bolt, Minerva, and then Ultron is my 5th. So there's a bunch of good teams you could use him on. And if you're talking about Blitz, just Ultron and 4 other characters, and they should be able to get you a win in Blitz. Valley, big time fan of yours from New Zealand. Thanks for all you do and stay safe in Texas, brother. I am trying, my brother. Hope you're staying safe as well. Curious, who do you think I should bring from 4 to 5 red stars and then from 5 to 6? On the slow grind to Dark Dimension 3, Symbiote Spider-Man, Black Bolt, or Hela? Or other options? Cheers. Out of those picks, I think my first one would still be Black Bolt. Second pick would be Symbiote Spider-Man. Third pick would be Hela. If you're really building up your Black Order, though, Thanos should be on that list. He's not going to help you too much for Dark Dimension 3, but I think Black Bolt, Symbiote Spider-Man, and Hela will. So those are good choices. But I would go Black Bolt, Symbiote Spider-Man, and then Hela. Symbiote Spider-Man, building him up will help you for Dark Dimension 3 specifically. Not sure how much you use him, how much he's going to help you outside of that game mode, but all of those are good choices. But yeah, that will be your usage of Symbiote Spider-Man outside of Dark Dimension 3. That's going to be determined. That should determine your placement of who is 1 and 2 in that Black Bolt and Symbiote Spider-Man spots. Next question. Greetings from the UK. What is up, brother? I was wondering, have you heard anything about the game running on people's phones and running hot? I know you play on BlueStacks since the last update, or maybe the one before. My phone has been getting real hot or warm whenever I play MSF. So I do play on BlueStacks when I'm on my computer, but I'm not mostly on my computer. I'm mostly on my phone. And I've been noticing something weird. Like I've been falling asleep a lot in the past couple weeks playing this game. I'm not sure why, but when I wake up, the game is still on. It doesn't go to screensaver mode, so I'm not sure if that's something that they changed in the MSF app. And when the app is still running all that time, even if it's in like a pause screen or something, my phone is hot. So I haven't noticed it running hot outside of that, but I have been noticing that my screen saver hasn't been going on. I don't know if that's a phone setting I have or something that's changed in the MSF app though. So I have noticed a few things. Next question. Greetings from DC. Now that the heat frenzy is over, do we start hoarding orbs again? If so, which ones do we hoard? I always say, if you don't need to open certain orbs, don't open them. Like right now, I have a good amount of gold. I'm not opening any gold orbs. Red star orbs, I normally don't open them. And now that we don't have an orb opening event, I'm saving all my premiums again. But I'm still going to open some of my orange gear and some probably some purple gear orbs. But anything I think I might need, I'm going to open right now. Anything I can save, I'm going to hoard. I have another serious question. How do you deal with the waning interest in the game? I'm not sure. You're always hyped about this game like you appear in your videos. I understand you're monetize your expense in the game, having a YouTube channel, but I also not able to reconcile the hundreds I've spent in the game with the limited content. Now I'm free to play. Find it easier. It's not easy to stay competitive in arena because of power creep. That's kind of how these games are. The devs want to entice you to spend money in this game by keeping up with the meta. Power creep is one of the ways to do that. So that is done on purpose. As far as the interest, like today, I don't feel that I have a lot of energy. I don't feel I'm as hyped. I don't know how that's coming across on the video, but I feel actually pretty low energy today and don't feel as up as I normally do. So it's just, as far as my energy in my videos, it's just kind of how I'm feeling at the time. I mean, obviously once these lights go on, I get a little more energy than normal. Once these lights go off though, I'm like dead right now because I'm not feeling so good. So I don't know. I'm not sure how I keep the energy, but it may be these lights once they turn on, I feel like I have to be on. But yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to be consistent. Remember though, this game is for fun. If you're not having fun playing this game, then it probably should move on to another game. So I'm still having fun. That's why I'm keeping making content. Hey, ValleyFlyin, another question. First time, let me say thanks for answering everyone's questions in the past. Anyway, Fury is coming up soon. I'll be unlocking and pulled 6 red stars on him, so he will immediately be able to add 5 red stars at the unlock. Do you think he's worth spending gear on to take him into Dark Dimension 3? Here's my scenario. Hela, Phoenix, Maw, Symbiote Spider-Man, Minerva, so you could rank up. Who would be the most useful out of these? I would not build up Fury. If you have an abundance of skill gear, maybe, but I would build up these other characters first. Black Bolt, I think, is more important. Carnage is more important, and I think Colossus is more important. After that, if you have those characters done and you want to build up Fury, you can. Because he is a skill character and there's not a lot of great skill characters out there. So Fury is not the worst choice, but before I do Fury, Black Bolt, Carnage, and Colossus are more important. So build those characters up first, brother. All right, next question. Actually, 2 questions in one. I'm going to read the second question first and then I'll come back to that first one. So the second question is, going all in Black Order, have plenty of skill gear and no tunes needing it for Dark Dimension 3. Who should I bring to T14 first, Corvus or Proxima? I want a giant Black Order team for Arena. I already got mod to 14 working on the others. I think Proxima should be before Corvus. Proxima is better character overall, has more standalone value. Corvus is good when paired with Proxima, but as far as standalone value, it's a little less than Proxima. So Proxima first, then Corvus. As far as your first question, I caught Drew diving blue corner in Palau. Interesting. I'm gonna ask him about that. He told me Doc Ock is definitely the next legendary. I'm thinking Sinister Six should be the first real 6-member team. I'm looking at you, Greg. What if Doc Ock summoned whatever Sinister Six you didn't put on the team? The 6 could have Doc Ock's red stars and gear like Mr. Sinister's clone. Full Sinister Six fighting together. What do you think? I like that idea. I think that's thinking outside of the box. And I think we have characters that summon minions. I don't think we have characters that summon full characters, unless I'm not remembering a character correctly. But I would like this. 6 full characters on a team would be pretty awesome. That would be a pretty strong legendary. Not sure if that's going to happen, but I guess let's talk to Drew. Drew, were you in Palau, and any news on the next legendary character coming to Marvel Strike Force?
Valley, now that the airlines are loosening travel restrictions, you never know where you might see me next. But as for the next legendary character, it is a Spider-Verse character that was coming in August, but I've gotten word October is the new target for that release.
So legendary getting pushed back from August to October. I guess that's not going to make some people happy, but I guess it makes sense with all the things being pushed back this year. Next question, though. In the most recent confirmation post from MSF, we got the pic of clues showing Squirrel Girl, Emma Frost, and Beast. I'm curious if Drew had any rumors on the beach scene, on why the beach scene. Young Avengers will leave Spider-Man homeless. Could the water be for Hydro Man and the sand for Sandman? I guess it's possible, but Drew, any other hidden messages from that pic that we saw about Beast and Emma Frost, Squirrel Girl? Is there any hidden messages that you see in this pic?
I am sure Doreen, Emma, and Hank were all having a lot of fun in the sun this summer, but right now, my lips are sealed about the next Spider-Verse character, but don't worry. I'll talk to you next time, mate, from who knows where.
Well, Drew, I do look forward to what you will share with us next time we see you on this channel. And guys, thank you for sticking around for this video. Hopefully this information in this was valuable for you. Hopefully it was still entertaining, even though my energy is not as high as usual. Hopefully I'll be back to normal in the next couple days. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel. Helps to grow the channel. And there are at least 4 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on this channel, so all the latest on Marvel Strike Force, guys. Check out some of my other videos as well. Check out my other channel, and there are links down below, including my Discord link and BlueStacks. They do support the channel, plus that worldwide nutrition link as well. Hulk fist bump before you go. Check me out on social media, and I will see you guys next time. ValleyFlyin out.